Okay. Hi, good morning, Alway. How are you?
Good morning, I'm good, thank you, man, yourself.
No, I'm fine. Alway, tell us a little bit about yourself. Were you born disabled or did you become disabled later in life?
My name is Elroy. I'm from a township called Bountiful in Cape Town in the Western Cape in South Africa. No, what you're answering your question, Jillian, is no, I wasn't born a disabled person. I actually became disabled at the age of 19 years old. I was shocked and then I became a person with a disability. So, adapting from a walker to a person in a wheelchair was a big change. So I had to, being the breadwinner also of the family, it was a big change, and the family also now had to look at other ways of sustaining themselves. And I also now had to deal with getting to know, not know, but getting to accommodate myself within a wheelchair and move it in terms of movement and mobility and getting to from point A to point B, and I was still within myself. I would say in myself because I had to deal with it emotionally. I had to deal with
it's an issue of acceptance.
yes, ma'am, yes.
It was
So
challenging.
yes, it was. I think it took me a year or two to really accept it because now I can't do things for myself. I have to rely on other people, and in a wheelchair now, I don't know, I didn't know who, where, what now. So, but I had to deal with it, and I had a family. Thank God for them. I had a family I could depend on that was there for me. So, yeah, it was a sad story, but yeah, I had to do it.
Can you tell us what is the situation in South Africa with regard to providing assistive technology for persons with disabilities?
Assistive technology, Jillian, it's still, I would say, if you buy the means to buy yourself or a person buy assistive technology for people living with disabilities, it's a huge gap because if you can afford, well, good. If you can't, the next person must just get the hospital standard issued wheelchairs or any technology they can get, but it's not always one size fits all because you need a bigger chair or a smaller chair, but yeah, that's the government hospital in South Africa. They just give you what they think it's something for you to use to move around. That's it.
Then, would you like to tell us a little bit about accessibility here in the Western Cape province? Just in short, tell us, does buildings now have ramps for you to get into the building? Are you able to get an accessible house where you can move around freely with your wheelchair? And also the issue of transport. Is there an accessible transport system in the country or specifically here in the Western Cape?
In terms of accessibility with buildings, since the dawn of our democracy, yes, buildings, they came to the party, I would say, because there are now ramps in the buildings, and you can see there is a change, but there's still a long way to go. Accessible housing, yes, it is there, but not a lot is being done. If you build 1,000 houses, 2 is only for disabled people. That gap needs to be filled also as well. And in terms of transport, public transport is not really for people with wheelchairs, I would say, especially with taxis and golden era buses. They don't really accommodate people with wheelchairs. There is a service called Alright, they do accommodate, but they also lacking capacity. So it's a bit of a challenge, especially wheelchair users.
So in short, would you say that persons with disabilities still need to do a lot of advocacy and lobbying work to ensure that the lives of persons with disabilities improves in our country?
Jillian, I would agree 100% with you. A lot still needs to be done, especially for disabled people. Because, especially in the townships, remember, we're not being seen as like the city. There's a lot of things happening in the city. But to get to the city, it's challenging. Transport, you don't have. Money, you don't have. Because we're not being seen as, you know. So yeah, there is really a lot of advocacy and lobbying that needs to be done for people with disabilities in South Africa.
Fine, thank you very much, Albert.
Pleasure, ma'am.